Hi, my name's Ali Bolden, and this is my evaluation of what I've learned progressive-wise from my preliminary exercise to my full product for my A-Level Media Foundation portfolio. So this is my preliminary exercise. It was a college magazine called Student Voice, and I made a front cover and a contents page that linked well and fitted in with the college genre so that it looked proper, it looked like a college magazine, and it looked professional. I still feel that there were things I could have changed on it, but I wasn't too familiar with InDesign, so this was one of the best things I could have made. So this is my full product for my main task. So there's a front cover, a contents, a double page spread, and a splash page. And you can obviously see the quality straight away looks a lot better because I became more skilled and practiced my skills in InDesign from using it for my preliminary before I actually did my full product itself here. So if you look side by side, here's the contents page of my preliminary exercise and the contents page of my full product. So as you can see, the layout here, it's completely different, but yet they're still magazines, and you can tell that. But it's due to them having a different purpose and me being able to lay it out a lot better in InDesign itself. The conventions, so obviously I've learned more about what needs to be on a magazine to make it look either more professional or fit with the genre it's supposed to be or what it's supposed to reflect. Again, due to my skills in InDesign changing and getting better. My images I feel are a lot better, my photography's improved, my composition of my images, the quality in general, and the amount of shoots I did and thumbnails I produced was also a lot more sufficient compared to my preliminary exercise. My headings, I mean, they're going to be different anyway because one's a college magazine and one's a music magazine, but I feel like my headings for my music magazine are now a lot more inventive and a lot more enticing to the reader, and just stand out more than they do on my first magazine. The presentation itself, I feel like you can tell more that the music magazine is a music magazine rather than the college magazine. The college magazine looks more unprofessional. It does look like it's been put together by a student with not as much InDesign skill, whereas my second one shows and demonstrates how I've improved and how I've become better at it. My Photoshop skills have also improved vastly. I've used Photoshop to edit my pictures and some text and things I've put on my magazine like stickers, which is different to my first one where you can see the bad editing in the background trying to make it blurred out, whereas I could have just used depth of field aperture settings on my camera. So my Photoshop skills have improved vastly there as well, and so have my InDesign skills because I was able to construct the magazine itself and make it just a lot better. As you can see, the second magazine just looks a lot more professional and hits the brief more than the first magazine. So if we do the same again, but this time for the contents page, the layout obviously in the second one looks a lot more like a contents page. I think you can only tell that the first preliminary one is a contents page because it says it. It doesn't quite have the right structure. On the conventions, obviously you can see Clash has got tickets, it's got bands, and it's got posters, and it's got giveaways, all to do with that genre, whereas on the contents page the conventions aren't really there. You don't, apart from the headings and a couple of pictures, you wouldn't straight away recognise that it was a college magazine itself. The images, again, are a lot better. The left three on the contents page are my own, but they're a bit boring and not really a college magazine, it's just pictures of the college, and the picture of the principal is taken from the website, whereas on Clash, my music magazine, it is all my own photography, all original, all done by me with my camera. The headings, again, it depends on the genre, but I feel like they're a lot more fitting for my music magazine. I knew what I was doing, what I was going to put, what would make the reader want to read this magazine, what will apply to them more, whereas the college magazine, Okay, it's different to each college, but if you wanted to read about this college and you didn't know what, say, UCAS or PUDS were, you wouldn't really know what it was. Presentation. Clash is a lot more packed, it's got more information, more pictures, it's better looking in general compared to the contents page of my preliminary. My presentation in general for my preliminary exercise was just a lot better. My Photoshop skills again improved. I was able to edit like concept pictures to bring out the lights and the strobes and the colours and things like that, whereas I didn't really have to do any little photoshopping with the contents page and the magazine as a whole for my preliminary exercise. So obviously I got a chance to improve my Photoshop skills with my full product. And in InDesign, again, skills changed. I learned how to use rulers and bleeds, all the shape tools, boxes, texts, effects, compared to what I used on my college magazine, because I just became a lot more experienced, knew what was going to make my magazine look better, and therefore I could create a better looking magazine as a whole. So if we look at conventions and things like that individually, Photoshop, I've learned a lot more skills in editing, because I knew what I couldn't do last time, and watched tutorials, watched videos, read blogs online about how to improve that. The same with InDesign, I didn't really know how to use that, so persistently trying to change my college magazine, watching videos, watching tutorials allowed me to improve my skills vastly. Conventions, I did things like questionnaires for my full product in order to find out what readers would want on it, my audience would appreciate to see. I looked at analysing other music magazines and did a lot more research into them themselves and the genre, so that I knew what I was doing to obviously make it like the product I was making, which my preliminary didn't seem to do. You could kind of tell it was a college magazine, but at the same time you couldn't, so I needed to improve that. Examples, so I looked at lots and lots of different music magazines, bought music magazines, read through them, looked at them online, evaluated them and researched them in order to find out what actually needed to go into it. Not much of that was done for my preliminary material, which could be a reason why it wasn't as good as it could probably have been. My photography, I went out, I did loads of different shoots, I went to loads of different locations, used lots of different people in lots of different settings, which I didn't do for my preliminary, so that obviously improved it. I had a lot more choice and I had a lot more better images to use for my magazine. My ideas were better, I knew what I wanted to put on, what would make my audience happy, what they would enjoy, compared to my college magazine, which was more niche. I knew that it had to be aimed at college students and staff, so there wasn't a wider mark that I could play with exactly. I did a lot more research into things like brands, advertising, the bands themselves and artists, what my audience liked, which in fairness you couldn't completely do for a college magazine because it's aimed at a certain type of people, but I could still have I could ask questionnaires to students that it would have been directed at to see what exactly they would like in this. And construction, obviously I had a lot more help and a lot more resources to make this magazine, and also learned a lot more skills as well to make my music magazine hit the brief more than my preliminary exercise.